from Ukraine by Borderlands Foundation. I'm back with Yuriy, a regular guest with us with the Territorial Defense from Bielorussia, and also a reserve army officer with Ukrainian Armed Forces. And Yuriy, you want to tell us a story today to give everyone insights into what's going on the front line. So I invited you here, Yuriy, with a very special guest, and I would like to let you share this story.
So want to hear the today's situation on frontline?
Well, the story you would like to share, Yuriy, with your guest. If you'd like to start out with what's going on the high level, I'm happy to start out there. I really just wanted to give you the floor on this for people who've been following. But where would you like to start?
I think it's better to start from the 22nd of April.
Okay.
Because I think that today it's more important personally for me.
Yes.
And I would like to tell you about my co-worker and a veteran of war from 2015. He served in 72 brigade, mechanized brigade, and he worked with me for about 2 years as a financial analyst after he finished his service in army at Donbass, and he always dreamt about being a tank commander, and it's happened to be that last 24th of February, when Russian war reactivated with Russian invasion to Ukraine, he at the same day he called me and said that he go to army again, to frontline, and for the first months he spent defending Kiev, and he came back to his native brigade, 72nd brigade, and I was well informed about how he was doing, how he was fighting, and fortunately he even captured a Russian tank, T-72, yes, the same as the number of his brigade, and he was fighting just on the northern direction of frontline, because I am at the western part, at west northern, and he was fighting from direction of left part of left shore of Dnieper River, and it was the direction of which coming from Chernihiv direction, yes, that came down to Kiev, northern borderline, and they captured Russian tank, and he was repairing and spent a lot of time there. And after Russians came back to under Belarus, after Belarus border, and regrouped to Kharkiv direction, he changed his place and he went together with his brigade to Kharkiv direction, and I remember this day when I called him and I could not find I couldn't find his answers. I didn't take too much attention to this moment because it was a few days before Easter, and I had some questions about his what he was doing, because he ordered some masking nets, and I didn't receive the answer from him. He didn't receive my call, but I was very busy. You know, it's a few days before Easter when you prepare for all this stuff. But last week I've heard a call from his wife, and she told me that he was killed not far away from Kharkiv direction, and they were counter-attacking Russians, and they were fighting. Their tank was fired, and they were running out of tank, and unfortunately he was killed. And but I know that he was worried very much about his team, about his command, because his mechanics and how it's called in English, who is directing, yes, who is recharging and directing.
The gunner, or
the gunner, yes, and the gunner, they were alive, and they had only light wounded. They were wounded lightly, and but two came to hospital, but just one returned to the brigade just last week, when we had funerals in Kiev, and the second will need some few weeks to come back to fighting. So I want to say about Andriy, his name Andriy Grigoriev, and now we have his daughter with us. I just would like to thank Andriy and all his family for letting him fight and letting him be so courageous, because just from the first day of when I met him, you know, he was like very rigid guy, and he was very like edge corner when you are talking, when you are opening talks about the future of the country, about how he feels, how he feels. He was answering very like skeptically and with irony. And when we argued with each other, he was very radical.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I remember him because he didn't tolerate any injustice. When he feels that something is maybe wrong and something could be going wrong, he always almost shouted or extreme reaction. So he was very sensitive to injustice. And just Also, he was very active in going in all the actions, demonstrations to support veterans when veterans were somehow suppressed, somehow, because veterans that are coming back home in peaceful situations, they are very different from those who live their usual lives. And usually people don't understand why. So he was very supportive to his brothers in arms. And also a very important thing that his wife told me, and I would like Lolita to continue this. He was born in Dnipro. It is eastern part of Ukraine, and for all his life he spoke Russian, but a year ago he switched to Ukrainian, and I remember that it was very difficult for him, but he decided that this is extremely important for our victory, and this is important for changing our future. To deeper being real Ukrainian, you have to think in Ukrainian, you have to feel in Ukrainian, and it meant a lot for him. And as far as I know now, it still means a lot for his family. So at this moment, I would like to give a word to Lolita and let her continue.
Thank you. Hello again, and I'm really happy to be here and share my father's story. So I would like to start from that it was very stubborn person, and he liked to achieve the goals which he has in his head. So his journey in defending our rights, our freedom, started from 2013 when it was Maidan. In the center, people came and they wanted to scream about their rights, their opinion, and everything. So he was there, and he was trying to go there, so passionate, until we get the news. The first one, it was a war in Donbass. So in 2014, he couldn't turn his back on this situation, and he went there. He was like normal, but he got rejection twice from the military. Couldn't, they don't want to take him because of his age. So it was bothering him. He wanted to go there so bad, and on the third time he went there. So this person will not stop in front of any complication in his life, and he will do anything, whatever it takes. So after this, he was there, and he has a really not the best position at beginning. So it was mechanic. He was doing this for a while, and he started moving in the direction he actually wanted to go. Next year, he was in a little bit higher position, and then he decided to go to a National Guard of Ukraine, and it wasn't easy for him also. It was a huge exam, physical and test exam. Tried his best to do it from the first time. Very first time didn't go so well. So he went there the second time, and he won it. He did it, and he actually went there. So he was so proud, and we were supporting him in everything what happened, just to see this fire in his eye. I'm sorry. And then it didn't stop him. He went there. He was on a position, and he wanted to move to ride a tank because he tried it once, and it's just it was amazing. So he finished the courses, the special one, and education. He got it. He came back, and he started a position. But by the 2017 year, he was because of his health problem of the army. Like he was there for a long time, so he started having a problem. And they also said that it will be war. They won't ask him to come because he has the third group of disability, which is like not connected to someone who will want to go to army. But we got the news that it was invasion of army in Ukraine, 24th of February. And of course, he will not stay home and just watch it doing nothing, even though just to take care of his girls, which is like I have also my sister and my mom. So he went there. He's been in a few places in Ukraine. And also this is how he ended up in Kharkiv to save the lives of civilians who are under the pressure of Russians. Just yesterday, I received the phone call from the army, and they said they will support him after his death for just being such a hero and all the time standing with Ukraine, for Ukraine, and defending our rights and our freedom. So just I wanted to say that this person was here at the beginning just to take all the rejection he got, just to go whenever he end up in this story. And we're all proud, my family, all proud of him. We would forget him, and I just wanted to tell this story so many people can know that there is nothing impossible in this life, and you need to stand for yourself, for your rights, for everything you want to defend in this life. And know that we have one more here in Ukraine. Thank you.
Lolita, thank you so much for sharing. And I know that every loss in war is very personal and very hard for families. So I know it's hard to even talk about this, and I think it helps everyone who cares about this fight understand the personal cost. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you for just inviting me and being able to tell them. It's very important
and
for my family and me.
Also, for everyone watching, we've put a link to Lolita's family's PayPal. If you want to donate to their family for support, we would like to encourage that. We actually, on borderlands.com.ua, we also have finally the app I've been speaking about to support people from Ukraine, but I wanted to especially highlight Lolita's family's case, and we just put their direct PayPal address in the link here. And Yuriy, you worked with Andre for how long? How long was he in your company?
About 2 years.
2 years. And I know that you had a policy of hiring veterans as your company. And Lolita, your father worked for Yuriy. How much time did he spend in active service versus reserves? I guess on the 24th of February he joined again, but what was the time he would spend working in the reserves between his work?
I guess he was always like, even when he worked, he was always searching news. He was always working on some ideas in his brain, and he also was all the time with Ukraine. So Yuriy would say that this is true, that they talked a lot about this. He never let this idea go about the perfect future of Ukraine, and he wouldn't stand in a side and just watch what will happen.
Mm-hmm. And he'd always wanted to be a tank commander, right? That was his goal. And
in his team he was a tank commander, and he wanted, and he wanted to join the project when war will be finished, but as still in.
Yeah. Well, I was a tank commander myself. I had a group of soldiers who did exactly what your father did, and I know how hard a job that is, and how dangerous it is, and I understand that he has contributed a lot to Ukraine's freedom. So I think that's your family has a huge hole that you can never fill, but I think a lot to be proud of his memory, and I hope that we can help you keep that alive, because that's really important. The reason when someone passes in war, I think what gives all their comrades comfort is to know that memory will be kept alive, and I think that's really important for all the people fighting, is to know that if anything happens to them, that they won't be forgotten. So it's really important to support you in that.
Exactly. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Yuriy,
it's not easy to work with veterans, as we know, Sam. Yes,
yeah,
and I had more than 20 veterans working in different years, at different times. Someone returned to frontline. They could not keep being at home. They could not transform back to usual life. They gave their hearts and their souls to war. And for someone, it is possible to come back to peaceful life, to everyday life. But for part of them, it is impossible. They always belong to the feel of death, and the feel of enemy. And when you're close to the borderline, because most of them return for such positions as snipers, as intelligence troops that are connected with very high risks, because veterans, they are in love with risks. They want to be close to death. They want to feel that it is really important to be there, and they feel that no one else can do that job, and they feel a lot of responsibility. So they could not change themselves, and I think that this is the only reason Ukrainian army now is fighting so courageously, and a lot of brave, responsible men and women are fighting, because they feel that it's necessary for their future, for our future, for future of our country, and their high morale helps to speak us here, to talk, to feel. I just starting from a week ago, I hear near Bilogorodka voices of children. they came back to Kiev, and they are playing in sand. They are running around my office now here in Bilgorodka, and you know, it's the best like honor, the best the best award for me, for I think for all of us now. So they did this, and they continue to do this in Mariupol, in Kharkiv, in Izium, in near Donetsk, along all front line of Donetsk and Luhansk region. And we just have to remember about this and feel like try to feel their hearts, try to feel their self dedication and self so they estimate the freedom higher than their lives. So not a lot of people could sacrifice themselves as much as Andriy, as much as other guys who are ready to fight to death for us.
Well, Yuri, Andriy was involved in the opening stages of the large battle we're observing near Kharkiv, which I think we would all agree is critical for the future and safety of the country. And you know, he definitely has made a huge difference in what he did, you know, for his colleagues and those in that area, and we can see that success continuing. And you know, listening to you talk, Yuri, I was very struck by, you know, my own recollections of Iraq and the family members I met, you know, of those that we knew, and I know that for some people, when my little brother passed away, he didn't die in military scenario. For some people, it's very important to talk about it. For others, they don't want to talk about it. And, you know, everyone reacts differently. But Lolita, I really appreciate your sharing, because it gives voice to your father and his memory. And I hope it's helpful for you to share. Do you have any other favorite memories of Andriy you'd like to share? Maybe about recently or before the war, that what do you prefer to remember the most about your father?
We had a lot of fun with him. He was also so funny person. Like, we had all these kind of jokes between father and daughter. I shared with him all stories and about my work, so he gave amazing advice. He would like not only learn for himself, and he taught me a lot of things, and in, you know, my laptop or something like this. Don't really understand by that time, but he always came, even if it's in the middle of night and I need some help, he would be there, and he would help to everybody. There is a lot of stuff. We recently come back home because of this situation from Poland, and you know, there is everything in the house he could fix, and we could not use even TV. So I'll figure it out, because he teaches me how to do it all, and he always gives us power to go and to do something. Just do not be lazy. So it's my favorite memory, because he made me this strong as I am right now.
Yuri, what about you from your time spent with Andriy? What are your favorite memories?
We had some difficult projects to execute, and also we had some time to retrain because Andrei was working in logistics before he came to army and before he come back to civil business life. And he was working with Lithuanians. And after I remember our first meeting, he was hesitating about if he can or if he could, because analytical work demands a lot of patience, a lot of concentration. And I remember that he was like hesitating, and we tried. I told him that it's okay to mistake, it's okay to go as you want, as far as you want. And I remember that he tried his best, and did everything in the best way. And there's no need for control, no need for checking, because I remember that he will do all he can, all the best. And even if I asked him if that is done or that is not done, he was like irritating about me asking such questions, because how could I ask these questions to him, because he was so proud of his work. He always tried to make his work very, very, very good, and it's important memory. Also, he was not like very public person. He didn't want like to shine a lot. He was like a quiet person, and very. I would say that he even could look like a shy person from the first look, but he wasn't. He just was like self-proud, and he didn't want to prove to anyone that he is who he is. And we sometimes argued about political future of the country, and I tried to explain that that in political development we have to be like try to build and be more compromising, but he wasn't. He was not ready to to negotiate a lot. He wanted strong decisions and sometimes radical decisions. Maybe he was right, because when war began, maybe you know that we have a lot of persons who doesn't deserve to be called like honored person. We have some questions to some politicians that made a lot of bad things to Ukraine, and they came abroad. They negotiated with Russians, and I think that some mistakes, some damages allowed to be made by their betrayal. So Andrei never tolerated them, and he was ready to fight with them very radically. And now I think that when war is going, it's necessary to be radical, and it's necessary not tolerate a lot of things that could be tolerated in a regular peaceful life.
Lolita, do you have anything else you'd like to share about your father? Or, you know, one of the things that my old commander used to say is, let us live live in a way that would make them proud in terms of what they stood for. What are your resolutions going forward that you'd like to live by based on what your father taught you? I'm not sure if can you hear me, Yuriy?
I can hear you. Lolita is frozen. I see that his picture, her picture is frozen.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I think there's something with the connection. Lolita, do you hear us? So I also would like to say that now I call almost every day to our veterans who are still who are fighting, and I mean especially my co-workers, because it's very painful, you know, because you are working on daily basis, and now I remember that from the day there about last a week and a half, I felt like, you know, I could not concentrate on anything. I could not work, and I felt that something wrong. I feel like my parts of my internal world is separated, you know, like disintegrated internally. And after a call of Andrey's wife, I understand that there is some like internal connection inside us when you are working for a long time with a man or with someone else. And there is something breaking, and you feel that pain. I don't know how it could be explained on physical, on theoretical, spiritual level, but there is something wrong. I felt, but I could not explain. And after that, I understood that it was what was the reason.
Yeah. Lolita, before we lost you, I wanted to just ask you.
I heard the question. Everything is okay. It just was the problem with my connection. I wanted just to add one thing, that that my father is also inspiring me, and you know, I'm gonna tell this story of who he was and what he did to my children, and I'm gonna add all those funny stories and comments he would do if he will be alive. But I'm gonna do it for him. So I just want to share this story, and you can't imagine how much it means for me just to be here, just to tell you this, and to other people also, because I want him to, I want people to know that he was not only here, here for our family, but just for a lot of people who just can hear this story and understand how hard he tried to reach this destination in his life, because he truly wanted, he wanted from the depth of his heart, and I'm proud of him. There is no possibility I can't be proud of him.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like he worked really, really hard. Do you remember that time when he was trying to get this role, or what was the?
I remember this time he was trying so hard. He didn't sleep at night. He was preparing for exams. He was, you know, he was even preparing himself without my mom, some of his stuff, and he put everything perfectly, like an army, like his back, it's looked perfect, as if woman just put everything inside. But he was so accurate in this, and I saw how hard he tried, how many times he just stayed up late and preparing himself for some stuff. He also had a lot of books to learn every information about tank. And I saw him how passionate he is in the same moment. So he did what he liked to do, and he was living this.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he was truly passionate about the work that he was doing, and I know it's hard, but he was doing what he loved. I hope that has some small comfort for you and your family. Is there anything, Lolita, you plan on doing now going forward? What are you going to do with your life? What's your family going to do going forward? How can we help you in whatever your family is trying to do to move on and keep your father's memory alive? What's some help your family would need?
I mean, we just wanted, all of us, we wanted the story be told. So this is why I'm here now, and I want his memory to, like, I want some people to read this story, to be maybe inspired not by what he did in army, but just to have some, some thought. Some people are too shy to do something, some people are not going for what they love to do, and they live their life in different ways. So I want to also give something good to people by telling this story. It's not only for honor of my dad, but also I'd like to help people. It's from my side. And my family will definitely agree with this.
Well, Lolita, one of the things I'd like to do with our foundation as we move on is just keep allowing people like you to share these stories and hopefully speak to the people that served with your father and get their recollections. I know how important that is for some people to be able to share their stories of their comrades who didn't survive, didn't make it, and I think that's important. So we'd love to keep helping you and Yuri, tell this story in terms of meeting them, and I think Ukraine has a huge debt to all of these people who've sacrificed everything, and I hope they'll take care of you and your family, but that's why we also want to give this to people like John and other people in our audience who can also help you out, your family out going forward, and keep telling those stories. So Yuri, anything else as you?
Yes, Sam. I would like to thank you for opportunity to commemorate Andriy, and try to feel that pain that his family is feeling now, and that the team. I also feel pain, and I compassionate about this. Also, I would like to say that it's not only Ukraine is, it's not about Ukraine only. It's as your foundation is called, Borderlands. It's about such human things as freedom, as dignity, And this is the matter of not only our country, this is the matter that matters for all the world, all free world, all those who want to feel free in countries that are not free. Because I've heard my friends, my true friends, who live in countries that are not free, and they suffer, they feel a lot of pain, and they have to, to be taught to understand such people as Andriy, about his decision, about his will, about his love to freedom, and to take part of his life and transfer it to their lives, to lives of their children, to make this part of their lives. And I'm sure that this what is done by Andriy is a part of brighter future. And this is also a responsibility. We are taking this responsibility for the future together with him, as like our fathers, our grandfathers fought at World War II and previous wars. They also were fighting for freedom of their lands, for freedom of their children, for us, for you, Sam, for those who are watching us, for those who want to support Lolita and Ukraine, and together we are stronger. Only last 2 months I truly understood what does it mean, unity. When we are together, together with Bilogorodka, together with Kiev, together with Kharkiv, with Odessa, with Mariupol. Just a few hours ago, I spoke with a student who escaped from Mariupol, and his father is living on occupied territories, and now he has the challenge to study, to get his first job, and it's very challenging. But he knows that I recommend him, and he feels that it is very important to continue his life in free world. He wants to live, he wants to work, he wants to develop himself in a free world. Europe and United States, I think that they had a lot of freedom, and when you have something a lot in a big quantities, you do not appreciate, you do not evaluate this. So let's evaluate this, and yes, and we paid I think the biggest price, so we can share responsibility. And thank to you, Sam, and thanks for your team that let it be possible for such streams. For me, frankly speaking, I didn't post any information about Andriy because it's not easy for me. It's to write down these words, to explain this, to reflect it through my internal world. Also, it's like therapy for me. And I think that you are doing a lot of therapy for all other veterans and for all other who feel that inside them. So forward on victory. I think that what we have to do is to fight and to win.
Yes. Well, Yuriy, I'm back in the capital of the United States, which they do remember. I think the people I'm speaking to, there's a lot of people who really care about Ukraine, and I'm hoping to keep that interest and support up through our work, and providing the weapons and the support, the political support, the financial support, the military support to Ukraine, because I'm convinced with the stories that I hear from people like you and all those who worked in your company that I met in those many different times we spent time together. They're committed to Ukraine and freedom. And I remember that old sign in Maidan at the trade union building, "Freedom is our religion." And I really like that sign, because I think that's really what Ukrainians stand for. And you're right. You know it better than any country in the West, what that means. And the whole Western world, starting here in the United States, is very proud of the they're very inspired by what Ukrainians are doing, and I think that it's given us a lot of energy again to value what we value, and we understand in America. We like to say we understand and fight for freedom, but I think Ukraine's given us all an example that's inspiring, and we just hope to continue to support it. So, Lolita, thank you for your reflections, because I know for everyone it's different how you process grief, but I think for you and your family, it's great that you're able to share, because others may not be. They don't deal with it in the same way, and I think you doing that is very helpful for those in your family that count on you for that. So thank you. Lolita, I'll leave you with the last thought here before we finish.
I want to thank you, and I think I might I'm talking from my family also, because I'm trying to support them as much as I can, because they're still not holding this very well, and I'm just trying to be the strongest one so I can share this story, because we all wanted this. And without you, without Yuriy, who invited me, who proposed to tell this story, it wouldn't be at all. So I can't thank you enough just to invite me here and be here today. It's such an honor for me.
Well, we're honored to hear about your father's story. It's the least we can do is to give you that opportunity, and hopefully this inspires people I know to understand the cost of this and continue to support Ukraine, because the only way I think we can all make this worthwhile is to win, as Yuriy said. And unfortunately, some pay a lot higher costs than others, as your father paid the ultimate cost. But the least the rest of us can do is support Ukraine in whatever way is comfortable, possible for us, whether it's financially or speaking to their government or volunteering, or just sharing this your story and your father's story with others. Whichever way they choose to support it, they can. And I look forward to meeting you in Kiev and your family, and Yuriy, seeing you again hopefully soon, and continuing to help Ukraine win.
Sam, if we have a few minutes, I would like to show some pictures of Andriy.
Oh yes, please do.
Yes, I'm just choosing some of them. Yes, because it's important, and also would like to to show a captured tank. Yes, it's important to show this tank. This is extremely important. Yes, and this is like symbol. Yes, of fight also. So just let me open. Let me open this. Let me open this picture. So, yes, I can show you now. So my computer doesn't allow me. So Sam, I can send you these pictures. So please,
Sure.
I see that maybe some
Yeah, send it to me.
references. Yes, I will send you to messengers now.
Okay.
Yes. And, these pictures will make some like finalization about whom we are taking. Yes, this is his like medal for necking symbol. I don't know how it's called in English. This is neck medal.
Okay, hold on one second.
Yes, you see it? Have you received it?
Yes. All right.
So
I don't know why I can't either. I don't know why I'm not able to share. Hold on one second. I think Vlad has to. But I'll try and work on it. Hold on one second.
So this is very open face, yes, open look, and he's smiling.
Yeah, I'm for some reason I don't have my own ability to share, which is
Lolita, maybe you can share screen.
I don't think. Hold on, let me
From the
try.
phone, just it's not a full version of the website. I guess because of this, I don't see the where to push to send the photos. No, unfortunately, I don't have it.
Mm-hmm. So okay, maybe you can attach these pictures to our stream in Facebook.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on.
So our audience can look at
Actually,
and read.
You know what I'm going to do right now is I'll edit my my Facebook stream. I don't know why it wasn't allowing me, but I'm going to add the photos to the Facebook right now. So
yes, we were discussing Andrei, and I think that it's necessary to show him.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Well, let me just let me put that together. So Lolita, I think I can do this. Your father is originally from Dnipro?
Yep. Yep.
Dnipro
He
City.
was born in Dnipro.
And what was the transition to Ukrainian like in your family? Because Yuri was saying at the beginning that your father started speaking Ukrainian at home with your family.
Yeah, he started word by word, and he didn't do it really well because, you know, before, when it was like Soviet Union, it wasn't so popular to speak Ukrainian, so mostly people speak Russian and they don't use this language. So for him it was a challenge, but he tried every day, just few words. Sometimes we correct him by helping to speak better, and then he was like correcting us, you know, at the end. So he was pretty much good at this.
And what about you and your sister? I guess you've learned at school Ukrainian, so it's been a lot longer for you. What about your mother? Does she speak Ukrainian natively or?
No, not really. She know Ukrainian a little bit, but she never actually used this language. But when my father started talking Ukrainian, she wanted to support him and to share his point about the whole situation. So she started doing it with him day by day, and now we all, like all our family, I mean like my grandmother, my grandfather, my aunt, and everyone, we speak Ukrainian only.
That's going to be the legacy, I think, for a lot of families. My fiance does not speak Ukrainian at home, but they're now starting. Her and her friend are now communicating in Ukrainian also. Both of them coming from Kryvyi, which is right around Dnipro. 95% of the people in those towns speak Russian until now, right? That's gonna certainly change. I think that's one of the strongest legacies from this will be the switch in language for a lot of families.
Yeah, it's like an indicator in our country now to speak Ukrainian, and we are proud of our language also, and from our country, because we were like together all the time, all Ukrainians, but now it's huge what people do for each other, how hard they help each other, how many communities we create just to send some products, some clothes for people who unfortunately lost their houses or something like this. So I'm really proud of this because all world can see how we become together.
Yes. No, I think the best of human nature comes out in the worst of times, and I've seen that many times through the years, and seeing it again here. This is the photos Yuri sent me of your father. I was quite proud of his beret there. Is that the traditional beret for tankers in Ukrainian army, Yuri?
I think no. Yes, this is more looks like traditional tankers, helmet, isolating noise inside tanks and isolating the opportunity to be hidden by steel of the tank.
Yeah.
Can you switch the video of captured tank?
Yeah, let me try to find that. Hold on. I will look for your video.
Lester is eager to look at the tank.
I will save that right now. Let's see if I can.
It will make optimistic note. Because the quantity of captured tanks make army about 100 tanks more than before war started in Ukrainian army. We have tanks 100 tanks more than before the war.
Yeah, it's the biggest arms supplier of Ukraine.
Yes, and for the whole history of independence, Ukraine didn't Ukrainian army didn't buy such amount of tanks. I'm not talking also about the all other equipment.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a So that was the tank that he captured, Yuri?
He participated in capturing this tank, and he participated in repairing it.
I can tell. Must be very proud of his capture there. That definitely was. I'm sure big.
I'm not sure that he personally did it, but he participated, I'm sure, and his team is participated. Yeah. He was extremely glad about the tank, and it was by the way it was captured near Kiev.
Yeah, so he participated in the defense of Kiev.
Yes,
you said yes. on the left bank while you were on the right bank, or?
Yes, I was on the right bank, and he was. I was on the direction from Chernobyl.
Yeah.
On that direction, he was in Brovary and Chernihiv direction, from the northern part of Chernihiv and left bank of Dnieper River.
And that's actually a very famous fight, and actually I look forward to interviewing and telling the story. The tank brigade, Lolita, that your father participated in and around Chernihiv, they saved the capital. I understand very clearly from all that I read. Well, we'll just have him here with us. So all that I read on the battle for Kiev was how critical the Ukrainian armored forces were on the east. stopping this massive armored force from all the way from Sumy and Chernihiv reaching the capital. So I guess he was participating in that fighting, Yuri, with his tank brigade?
Yes, 72 brigade is, I think, they participated in the heaviest clashes, and the parts of 72nd brigade stayed near Belgorodka too, and they were allocated through the whole front line and defense line of Kiev, and they were collecting some other units inside, especially artillery. And when we heard about the 22nd brigade, it sounds very strong. So this is they based near, not very close to Kiev, but they took the hardest hit, and I think that if we could not if we could not save Kiev, the next round of war could be quite different, and the attitude of West and the level of support of the world to Ukraine could be quite lower. It could be quite different scenario than we have now. So I think that this brigade is a very strong brigade, and I'm sure that Andriy made his input in defending of capital and building the future scenario that now is more favorable to Ukraine, and that united all free world around Ukraine, around our fight.
Yeah. Well, I've read about the defense of Kiev and the armored battles that his brigade took part in to defend Kiev, and I look forward to continuing to research and tell that story. And Lolita will talk to Andrei's comrades when the time is right, and we'll make sure that everything they did we document, because I think it's really important for countries are built on stories that people believe in and that they're willing to fight for, and that's what your father did, and he's adding to that story now. So that's.
Yes, I think that we could know a bit later about his operation, about his counterattacking of Russians, because you know that they were under pressed around Kharkiv. They could not surrender Kharkiv, the same as Kiev, because I'm sure that they want to name Kharkiv like the capital of Russian, pro-Russian part of Ukraine, as they made Donetsk and Luhansk, because Bolsheviks 100 years ago did the same. They announced Kharkiv like alternative capital, and that make it like a false capital to ensure the West and all the world that they have the real capital, but they didn't. And after Kharkiv, they captured Dnipro, and they captured a few Odessa, and then it was much harder to defend Kiev. The same as Snake Hills near Belgorodka, defending more than 1,000 years ago and still defend. The same, they are defending Kharkiv, and the history, repeat circle by circle, repeat itself.
Yes. Wow. Well, thank you again, Yuri and Lolita. I know we talk about the war so that people that I know and people in the West can stay updated about what's really going on. And I think this really gives people the personal side of that, which is so important. So I thank you for your sharing your family story and your father's story. And Yuri and I's job is to make sure that his story lives on through the work that we'll do together with the foundation and beyond. So thank you, and I look forward to meeting you and your family.
Thank you. Me also.
All right.
Okay, guys. Goodbye. Forward to victory.
Onward to victory.
Слава Україні!